Welcome to Iraqi Dinar Update, your go-to source for the latest news, expert insights, and real-time developments on Iraq's currency, economy, and financial reforms. Whether you're a long-time investor or just curious about the dinar, you're in the right place. There is a long-standing belief shared by many investors and researchers following Iraq's economic reform journey that the hydrocarbon law, HCL, and the Iraqi dinar's new exchange rate are intimately connected. For those who've been tracking these developments for years, perhaps even feeling like they've been around since the age of dinosaurs, the moment the HCL becomes official and fully implemented is expected to mark a significant turning point. It represents more than just a legal framework. It's viewed as a financial signal, one that points directly toward a substantial change in how Iraq values its national currency. To appreciate the full weight of this perspective, we must unpack the multiple layers of what's being suggested. First, the HCL is a long-delayed piece of legislation intended to regulate the distribution of oil revenues among Iraq's federal government, regional authorities like the Kurdistan Regional Government, KRG, and the governorates. For over a decade, Iraq has functioned without a finalized and implemented HCL, relying instead on temporary arrangements and political patchwork. But for investors and analysts, the official passing and execution of the HCL signifies stability, predictability, and international confidence. It tells the world that Iraq has taken a giant step toward economic sovereignty and accountability. So when someone says the day you see the HCL, you see the new exchange rate, they are linking two major reform events into one synchronized outcome. The HCL is not simply about internal revenue sharing. It is also about standardizing Iraq's oil exports under unified legal oversight. If every barrel is now being tracked and every sale goes through a centralized banking structure, then the foreign currency inflows become clearer, and the Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, can more accurately assess monetary strength. Furthermore, when oil is fully metered and the revenue streams are transparent, international financial institutions such as the International Monetary Fund, IMF, World Bank, and even private investors can have increased confidence in Iraq's financial systems. This new level of confidence creates a domino effect, paving the way for Article 8 compliance, greater capital mobility, trade facilitation, and investment agreements. It also eliminates a key risk: corruption and unaccounted oil revenues. If oil income is flowing into the official banking system instead of through informal or opaque channels, then Iraq has a better foundation for revaluing or restructuring the dinar to reflect actual market dynamics. Now, let's focus on oil as an indicator. In most economies, oil is a commodity. In Iraq, it is the currency behind the currency. Watching what happens with Iraq's oil production, sales, and legal frameworks is like watching a pressure gauge on a massive economic engine. When output increases and is metered correctly, when international sales are accounted for in the books of the Ministry of Oil and the Central Bank, when contracts are signed under a unified law like the HCL, that's when we can expect the monetary policy changes, including a revaluation of the Iraqi dinar, to surface. Oil isn't just being extracted from the ground. It's being converted into data, policy, influence, and most importantly, financial value. Investors who have followed the ups and downs of Iraq's post-war reconstruction are attuned to these signals. When oil starts flowing freely again from disputed areas like Kirkuk or the Kurdistan region into federal pipelines, and when that oil is being sold with documentation, oversight, and international reporting standards, these are not just economic events, they are policy indicators. That's why every time oil starts flowing under new conditions, it raises the question, is this the moment? Is this when we will see the change? But why does the exchange rate matter so much? Because Iraq has been operating under an artificially controlled rate of 1310 dinars per dollar for years. Many believe that this rate doesn't accurately reflect the underlying strength of Iraq's economy, especially considering its immense oil wealth, untapped natural resources, and potential for regional trade dominance. The controlled exchange rate has been a stabilizer, but also a limitation. A new rate, perhaps driven by market forces or a new managed float regime, would reflect Iraq's economic revival and bring new legitimacy to the dinar in global markets. What often goes unspoken is that the HCL and oil metering aren't just about economics. They're about trust. Iraq's government is telling both its citizens and the international community, we are ready to play by the rules. Rules that include transparency, equity, accountability, and stability. And when a government earns that trust, especially in a region where political risk has historically driven financial hesitation, it can unlock access to powerful tools, foreign direct investment, reserve diversification, and re-engagement with international capital markets. Many insiders believe the revaluation is inevitable, but they also believe it must be earned, not through hope or hype, but through systems and data. That's why the emphasis is placed on oil being metered and registered. These words aren't casual. They signal that the oil is no longer flowing without accountability. Instead, every barrel is being recorded. Every sale is being matched to a revenue entry. Every dollar earned is either going into foreign reserves or being allocated transparently in the budget. That kind of structure is essential to support a stronger, more credible exchange rate. It's also why so many experienced observers see oil developments as a barometer. Whether it's new export deals with Turkey or Iran, legal settlements with the KRG over disputed fields, or increased production quotas under OPEC, all these things are pieces of the larger monetary reform puzzle. They tell us that Iraq is not just trying to export oil, it's trying to export confidence, stability, and fiscal credibility. In the end, it's not hyperbole to say that oil is a mirror for Iraq's monetary future. You can watch the political statements, the budget negotiations, the central bank auctions, but if you really want to know when the Iraqi dinar might see a new exchange rate, follow the oil. Follow the law that governs it. Follow the infrastructure that tracks it. And follow the international responses to how Iraq is managing it. Because oil is the bloodline of Iraq's economy, and the more transparently it flows, the closer we are to seeing the monetary reform that so many have awaited for years. So yes, it's not just rhetoric when someone says, the day you see the HCL, you see the new exchange rate. It's a well-grounded observation rooted in years of watching Iraq try to move from chaos to order, from fragmentation to unity, and from economic survival to economic transformation. And oil. It's the indicator, the catalyst, and the proof. Keep watching the oil. That's where the story of the dinar's future is being written, in barrels, not just in banks. Thanks for tuning into Iraqi Dinar Update. If you found this content helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a beat on Iraq's evolving financial landscape. Stay informed, and stay ready.